Go ahead.
Okay. So Libya was simply doing what Bush did when he invaded Iraq. And I have a quote that says, well, actually Bush is saying, he is fighting for the truth of freedom. We both agree. We're fighting for the cause of freedom. Gaddafi accomplished one of his history's great diplomatic turnarounds with the Secretary of State announced that U.S. was restoring full diplomatic relations with Libya and held great social peoples, Libyan Arab, as a model for others to follow.
Okay. Well, 4 decades ago, I'm going to give you a little brief right now. 4 decades ago, he was a captain, Al-Qaddafi. He took over and he became like a dictatorship, like a king. He does admit that stuff like that. But usually when this happens, they try to say that he didn't call himself a general. He still got promoted to captain, so that's why he became Captain Muammar Gaddafi. He does admit that, he did support terrorism, like, some terrorist groups like the M19 guerrillas, the chilling groups, stuff like that, But to be honest with you, the U.S. and Libya did have their little conflicts back. He did have his, Gaddafi did have a 15-year-old adopted daughter killed in a bombing. But, he's also done some good stuff like that. Back in 1999, he gave away 2 agents that were agents that had intelligence about the killing and stuff like that. In 2003, he admitted he was responsible. Bad people are bad sometimes, but as long as they admit they're bad, they're willing to change. He admits he was a bad person. He admits that, but he's been trying to work around that. He's trying to prove the world that he's a changed man. Basically, what he had a killing that killed over 270 people. But he got with the UN and stuff like that, and he agreed to pay $2.7 billion to the family members that he killed. $10 million per family member that died right there. So basically like that, he wasn't considered a terrorist anymore because he was a terrorist sponsored country, like he used to sponsor. Back in 2004, diplomatic relations started. So.
So yes, those are valid points. I guess our side will go ahead and prove that he is trying to show that he has changed without actually changing. He's incredibly two-faced. We can't, this is a guy we can't negotiate with because he will say one thing and he will do it. He'll follow through, but then he'll either go back on his word or find a way around it. He's really sneaky. We can't trust him. And what it really, really comes down to is the morality of it. How are we going to say that an end justifies means? We want to negotiate with him mainly for oil purposes, but is it okay to say, yes, we want oil. We want oil, we think we need it, so we're willing to negotiate with a murderer. We're willing to negotiate with this dictator. What does that show, our kids? What does that show other countries? What does that tell them about us? In the end, all it's going to come down to is problems with other countries who don't accept him, problems with him because he will go back on his word with us. He has proven it time and time again. Even recently, he has not changed. There's no way he's changed. He has found a way every single time to go back on it to where it benefited him. So there's no way. There's no way. We have other alternatives. We don't need to negotiate with him, so why do it? We don't have to. So unless we're, forced to do it, then why should we?
Another thing, you're talking about freedom and how he's about freedom. Nothing he's ever done has supported his freedom. He is a dictator, and everything he does benefits him. Doesn't even necessarily benefit the people of Libya. The people in Libya aren't free like how we're free in America. Everything he's done in the past doesn't support that he's some kind of freedom fighter. He's a supposedly repentant terrorist that's not really repentant. He's just trying to pay off people, and that's the gist of it. He's not repentant. He's still as dangerous as ever, and if you don't believe he's going to go back on his words, and any second that, it benefits him, then you should just look at his history.
That's not accurate all the way. We do know that the media has a whole bunch of influence, and once they say, that Gaddafi's bad, everybody believes it. But back in 2004, British Ambassador Mr. Anthony Layden said that in 35 years he has not seen such a successful education system total state of control of the economy and employment of people. So yeah, it is true. He's British ambassador, from England. He's saying that, their education system is good. We just don't see all that information being released. We just see the bad things. Like when we look at the media, stuff like that, TV, newspaper, we never see basically anything good. Basically, 75% of the content we read from the media, it's all bad. So there's good things he's done. Even you had something about the fresh water supply,
yes,
right?
in the Sahara Desert, the underground pipes, he's actually converting to fresh drinking water, and that is going to help the economy later on. He even said this is a gift to the third world.
Because water is precious over there. They compare water like gold over there, and it's a big thing. He's giving people a chance, he's giving them basically life, stuff like that. Because without water, you're gonna die. He's giving their people water. In the desert, it hardly ever rains. It's just basically sand, dust, stuff like that. But he's doing things for his country. We just don't see those accomplishments.
Even with France, he was starting a project to convert seawater into fresh water, and this was gonna eventually help the EU and the U.S. into having a more bilateral relationship.
And one more, I just want to add one more thing, and I'll let you go right now. In 2004, the U.S. and Libya resumed. Right now, as we speak right now, we are in diplomatic relationships with Libya. In 2006, U.S. removed from Libya from state-sponsored terrorism. So the U.S. starts to realize that, hey, if he might be two-faced, stuff like that, like she said, but the way we see it, he's actually trying to change. Bad people do change. It's just kind of hard to face that. Change is kind of hard when you've done a mischief of a whole bunch of bad deeds. But to be honest, right now we're doing, we're talking to Libya, stuff like that. We might not hear about it that much. They do have secret public relations which they talk to, but everything seems to be going on fine right now.
Okay, and on what you said about him being two-faced, him two-faced can work to our ability. Okay, they have been for a while now. That's why he's given us information about terroristic groups. That's why he's giving people up. That's why he's given us people that were in charge of bombing, and he's given them to us so we can put them on trial. He's been two-faced against his own people for us.
Have you thought of why?
Well, it
Have
doesn't
you thought
matter
of
why. Well, the thing is,
Yes, it
to
does
make
matter
peace,
why.
obviously to make peace with us.
We let you finish. Let me finish. He's doing it because he's afraid of the U.S. He has openly admitted it. He wants the U.S. to accept him. He wants us to negotiate with him. That is the only reason why he's running out of funds. Because he has time and done this with other countries. And the moment he gets in and he's good with us, we accept him, he goes back on his word. He begins terrorist acts in the U.S.
He gets harbored terrorists once again.
He already, and there's no done. There's no, in the past, he's still doing it. He's still doing it. And the seawater project, that is also proven that the scientists are working on nuclear weapons to go with that. And he is not letting them do it on Libyan soil, but he's funding it. And that is now. So yeah, so everything good that he does is a bad thing.
There's always a real truth to it.
Two-sided sword.
We have the strongest military in the world, just letting y'all know. Anything he does in his country that might cause a war with us, he knows we will annihilate that. So you have to put that in consideration, that he is going against the strongest military. And he knows that. He's not a dumb guy. So he knows where he's coming from with the war if he does step up like that. That's why he's trying to be friends with us, and he's trying to change his ways. Everybody can change. People can change. And I think he's taking the step towards it for giving us all the information. And we need the help too. He knows we need the help with the oil, so he's coming with that too. So I'm just throwing that out for y'all.
You have to take into consideration that with change, there's a certain amount of responsibility that needs to be taken with that. And 12-step programs, part of becoming that new person that's free of their addiction is admitting what they've done wrong and amending it to the people that they've wronged, the people that they've hurt. Now, Qaddafi has not atoned for many of the atrocities. He killed so many people. There's, to go back on a point that you brought up, he put water in the desert. Just a little bit of life for all the death that he scattered among so many continents. You have to take into consideration that he hasn't brought up what he did before. He's trying to hide it. He's not